Join us for a review of the all-new Ford Puma. Let's go! A very interesting and remarkable styling here for the front of the all-new Ford Puma. It does look very sporty indeed, although it sits on this Ford Fiesta platform, but a little bit higher, 5 centimeters or 2 inches. You can see here this one is the Titanium X trim. It has a more, let's say, stylish and at the same time more crossover trim, a little bit more elegant. Here also with a chrome frame around. And then this contrasting off-road style in the lower part with a silver look. However, we also have the ST-Line for you. That one then comes with a black frame around the grille and has a sportier look. 4 meters 19, 13 foot 7 or 165 inches is the length here of the Ford Puma in this new generation. And let's say that's about this longer than the Ford Fiesta or Ford EcoSport and about this shorter than a Ford Kuga. So it sits between the EcoSport and the Kuga lengthwise at least. So we can see here it has a rather sensual form, also some sports coupe alike, especially here with this ending. A little bit cheap materials here around the frames. This one again, as the Titanium X trim level, has those crossover wheel arches. However, then the ST-Line is a sportier look, then with painted wheel arches. We have it there in a blue color. This one here, a strong red tone. 18-inch wheels in this case here, so smaller ones available, 17-inch, but also bigger ones, 19-inch in the Sport Design Pack. 19 is a little bit big for this kind of small car, isn't it? So 18 might be a good compromise indeed. And the ST-Line comes with a sport suspension, which will be a stiffer ride. Overall, there's Titanium, Titanium X, ST-Line and ST-Line X. The X is then, with a little bit more trim and features always. In the rear, we see a strong Puma lettering. This one again with the Titanium X trim. Here with a silver contrast in the lower part and an honest design. We do have the real exhaust underneath. There are no fake exhaust whatsoever. And if you want to take another look at the ST-Line with a sporty look, here it is also in our overlay pictures. So which one would you actually go for design-wise? The Titanium here or Titanium X, or rather the sportier ST-Line? As for engines, there's a 1.5 liter diesel 4-cylinder with 120 horsepower, and then the main engines will be the turbo petrol engines, 1 liter of displacement, 3 cylinders, and either the one we have here today, 125 horsepower. That one either without or with a MHEV system. They call it then hybrid, although it's just a small hybrid, mild hybrid system, or with 155 horsepower. Then the acceleration figure is a second faster, so it's 9 seconds, or with this one here, 10 seconds to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. I'm really looking forward if this MHEV system here will have any advantages for the fuel economy. Soon more to that. We usually have a 6-speed manual gearbox. Later there will also be a 7-speed dual clutch transmission for the 125 horsepower version, but then just without the MHEV system. Usually other manufacturers, especially for example at Volkswagen, they say we only do the MHEVs with the automatic gearboxes. Here at Ford it seems to be just the other way around. we have those fabric seats. Those ones here are also zippable, so you can change the covers in this Titanium X trim exclusively. Fabric on the inside here is also quite durable and looks nice with the gray one. Looks living room, Scandinavian living room we like, so nice design. And what's also quite cool is that we have a fake wood interior and it feels matte and nice, so it's a very good fake wood. Why not? And also the inside of the doors are remarkable. Here in the Titanium X trim we have this fabric here with contour stitches. It feels nice, looks nice, pretty cool. Also some notable inside door pockets. Well, maybe not for round bottles, but for a lot of other clutter. And we also have some shots from the ST line for you. Then at the inside of the doors you get, for example, at the red, you get a different decor trim, more carbon fiber like, but also not real one. And also a steering wheel with red contour stitches, and it's a little sportier look definitely. Also you have sport seats, where in the ST line you have sport seats with fabric, and ST-Line X you get those sport seats here where you have some supposed to be animal skin on the outside. That's of course not really necessary. Let's get inside, and it is actually a little bit easier than getting in the Fiesta because we sit a little bit higher, and therefore it's also a little bit more comfortable. So when I put the seat all the way down with 1.86 m or 6'1", there is just a little bit of headroom left because this one does have the panoramic roof. Interior overview, here we can see, yeah, Fiesta platform definitely resembles that. Soft touch here with the dashboard. Then we have this fake matte wood element. Again, good quality here as well, so it's a nice addition definitely. Pretty thick steering wheel, again would be a little bit different in the ST line. And those digital instruments, really clear view, so more details to that. And an 8-inch screen you can get right here, but it's in this case also standard, so the Puma has a little bit higher equipment overall than the Fiesta. And this one, the Sync 3 system, soon also more details to that. Also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support. Still a volume knob, but here cheap rubber surrounding right there. So some of the interior parts, yeah, pretty cheaply done. Also in the lower climate unit right there. But it's still good to have this climate unit, yes. Oh, fancy Puma visualization, but again blocked by those messages. So interesting, we have a hybrid gauge here, so when we are actually rolling, and it shows when it does recuperate. So when you have the brakes, then energy is gained back there to this smaller battery. Now deals to the screen as all via touch. And this is then the GPS, which is somewhat okay. And when you put in the cable then of the phone, then we'll have the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if it would be an Android phone. There it is. It's a nice integration, pretty clear also. And this B&O optional sound system is actually pretty cool. Has some notable bass as well. So, and a very crystal clear sound. So let's get in the rear, and I mean, it's not primarily vehicle thought out to carry 4 tall adults, and yeah, I don't fit here when I am actually driving, so yeah, hitting my knees right there. Also headroom wise, hello and goodbye. So yeah, I do fit in here, but it's not like, you know, so I have to be aware of that. There actually the Ford EcoSport is definitely better. And finally, a lot to show you with the trunk here. First of all, we have the foot kick opening mechanism for the electric hatch. That's quite nice. And then we have this, you know, pretty well sized trunk overall. So it's 456 liters overall, but soon more to that. 73 centimeters in length actually. When you remove this lower cover, there is actually an opening to the floor. So like this, and then you can see here, you can really look through the ground, so you can, you know, maybe go with the dog and wash the paws. I don't know. So maybe it's like, you know, even for surfing or something like water sports, that might be good, or cold beverages. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the all-new Ford Puma, and yeah, let's give this 1-liter 3-cylinder engine a little boost. First gear, second gear, and drive it a little bit more agile, because, I mean, the Heritage is a small sports coupe. Does this one here as a crossover or small SUV hold up to the Heritage? Yeah, I think it does. Fiesta platform, it's still quite agile to drive, although it's a little bit higher, but actually quite cool. And I mean, this is almost like a rally heritage we have here now. So it's actually quite a lot of fun, pretty cool. Found some interesting roads here for you. Why not? So motorway driving here at 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour, and I mean the road surface here is actually quite rough and it's not super silent as for the road or tire noise, but again it's also the road. As for wind noise, it's actually quite okay, so there's no disturbing wind stuff here going on somewhere, so and especially at lower speeds it's even better, but probably not best in segment, but also not worst in segment. Again, it's also about the road. We'll also keep you updated how it is with a different surface right here. Then there is the blind spot monitor. They are flashing in the side mirrors, is part of the assistance systems package, which you should get. That's definitely very helpful. You do have the cruise control right here at the steering wheel. It's also an adaptive one, then again included in this package. And then you can set it here with the left thumb, and the distance to the car in front of you is being kept. It also works here, although we have the manual gearbox. This mild hybrid system seems to work because we could score some decent fuel economy for such a small engine. 5.5 liters on 100 kilometers, that's really decent. That's more than 40 mpg US and yeah, close even to 50 mpg UK. So it's really cool. And also this 6-speed gearbox, which are not using that frequent, of course, on the motorway. It's really very good to use, so very smooth shifting process up into the 5th one again, and it's totally fine. Since we're driving here the 125 horsepower version, so the less stronger one of the turbo version, you might ask yourself, yeah, is that still really enough? I mean, there's not such a big difference between those two horsepower versions. This one here will be also the most important one. The MHEV indeed seems to have good effect on fuel economy, and since you do have the turbo, you still have, some power reserves here. For example, when you're at 100 or like now at about 90 and accelerate a little bit out, third gear, 100, 120. So that's still okay. So, and now the 155 horsepower turbo petrol engine and the ST-Line X. First of all, let's find some acceleration difference. 50 kilometers to 90. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like the last second was missing because I could push up the second gear. I wanted to test that, like to 85 something, and then was hitting the ref limiter, but was almost, so 50 to 85 that was possible in the second gear. But you see, it has a little bit better punch. So the acceleration difference is again the non-MHEV system, 10 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Then the 125 horsepower turbo petrol with the MF 9.8, so that's a little different from this electric boost. And then this one here, 155 horsepower, 9 seconds, so a second faster. And it is somewhat notable, so a little bit more punch. However, it's not the biggest difference. It's not that you would say you drive a completely different engine. It is the same engine, just a little bit different tune electronic wise. Yeah, nice tune, man. And ST-Line X just builds on the ST-Line and then adds some more features. It's the same with the Titanium, so Titanium and Titanium X. X is just, some more equipment extra. So both ST-Line and ST-Line X do come with this sports suspension right here. And it is a little bit stiffer, yes, but it's not, not stiff in a way like BMW M Sports fixed suspension, which we, for example, had in the X1 or X2, and hasn't, and let's say like, wow, that's like, shouldn't go for that ever. You do have more comfort with the normal suspension, yes. It is notable, but it's not like catastrophic or something. The shifting lever is also a little bit different. We have this, this metal cover from that. Yeah, why not? Doesn't make too much of a difference. And the steering wheel is also different. A little bit thicker as for the grip. It's also nice, but it's not like a huge difference. So I also had fun driving the other one. Overall, indeed, you do have the feeling that the ST-Line or ST-Line X is a little bit sportier than the titanium one. We have the combination here, a little bit more horsepower, but that is not connected to the trim level. And when I leave the throttle, I can also check those hybrid gauges again. Then the battery is recharging, recuperating, pretty helpful, and that's also good for the fuel economy. And then at some point, I also see on the right side when the electric boost is being activated. So that's actually pretty efficient then if you just leave the throttle, or even if you're on the brakes, then you see there's recuperation, if you want to look at that gauge all the time, of course. And with the coasting or sailing function that is also included here, so how does that work? So first of all, most of the time probably it will be better to use the recuperation when I just leave the throttle, especially if I want to reduce speed. However, if you want to roll rather, then you could, so you don't want to really reduce the speed, you could theoretically press the clutch, and then the RPMs after a while now drop to 1000. Not completely deactivated like with other sophisticated sailing modes. The same happens when I just put it in neutral. Then it drops to 1000, but the engine is not completely shut off. So we do have those new sophisticated systems like Audi, BMW, Mercedes and so on. They are of course more expensive. And combined with the automatic gearbox, that's probably also a thing. They can also roll or coast with shutting the engine off at like 100 kilometers an hour or something. Not possible here, but it drops to 1000, and it also deactivates one of the cylinders. So you're really running on 2 cylinders then. That's pretty remarkable. However, when does it shut off completely? So there's no one behind us. That's just something when you're actually really slow and approaching a trip now. Like below 20 kilometers an hour, 0, and we're rolling. As soon as I put in the gear, it's getting on again. So this is a function like a sophisticated stop-start mechanism. So when you're rolling towards the traffic light, and then already the 2-3 seconds ahead before you're coming to a full stop, then already the engine is dropping to 0 RPMs, and this is also then again supposed to save some more fuel. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new Ford Puma. Yes, it's, it does work actually, so it's not too different from the original concept, from the 2000s. So it is a sporty ride. Yes, it's also on the Fiesta platform. Yeah, a little bit higher, but that's also then giving you a little bit more seating comfort. Compact dimensions, so you get along in the city very well. Interesting ideas with those zippable seats, for example, and also with this special box in the trunk. So why not? And a little bit more comfort, a little bit higher than a Fiesta, without having too much other compromises and so on. And I think also the interior quality, we see a little bit more different features. For example, also this fabric at the inside of the door, special here for the Titanium X trim. So indeed something where Ford wasn't that good so far. As for the interior look and feel, also with this fake wood, especially in the Titanium X trim, better, I think. The ST-Line is sportier, yes, especially also on the exterior. Really crisp driving scenario here with the good steering input. The shifting then, which is also pretty cool with Ford, and also, that you have a connected feel, steering, driver, car, and so on. So what do you think about this one here? Still quite good price performance deal. Leave us your comments and see us next time.